Welcome to the Wealth and Success Academy. I'm here in Cambodia with Brett Alegre-Wood. Many of you don't know Brett, so I'd like him to introduce himself as to what he is and what he does and where he's based.
Awesome. So, Brett Alegre-Wood, been in property for over 20 years now. I'm actually live in Singapore, but UK based with mainly most of my business. YPC Group, we do new build stuff. We've got Castle Reach, we've got Bash and Jack, which does construction, a whole heap of property business. Easy Trade Property Management does 1,200 over 1,200 properties management. So primarily around the property field, but also if you go to Australia, I've got a tyre company and various incubator businesses and investments in a whole range of things. So yeah.
Well, I think Brett's being a little bit modest here, so maybe you can give an idea as roughly what your company does in terms of turnover, sort of sales, to get an idea of the size of your company. Gotcha. And what you've actually been able to do over the last sort of few years.
So I moved to the UK in 2002. 2004 I started YPC Group. Between the UK business now, we've got about 60 staff. We're probably doing turnover, across all of them, if you actually take out the construction business, because that skews it a bit, but you're probably looking at about 10 million. And various other investments in that, not included in that. So the prime businesses are probably 10. We generally sell somewhere 200 to 300 properties a year, and then manage over 1,200 of them. So yeah, that's probably
that's awesome.
Summary. Yeah.
He's really said that very modestly, hasn't he? That really is an amazing achievement. Really, for me, I like to mix myself around with people that are going to elevate me, make me more successful, really push me. Brett's certainly one of those people, and I believe that success leaves clues, and Brett is really successful, and I'd like him to share some of the ingredients, some of the tips, some of the things that he thinks that will really help to motivate you to achieve the things in your life. There's some of the things that he does maybe on a daily, weekly, annual basis to help you on your step to actually start moving forward to get the success that you're looking for and that you're aiming for.
Yeah, cool. So look, I think for me, I work on sort of a very systematic way of creating wealth, and in fact the way I run my businesses and everything. I think the first thing is you've got to find something you're passionate about. So just because something looks like it's going to make money, and you might see somebody else who's very successful making money out, doesn't mean that you're going to make money out. If you're not passionate about it, that's not going to drive you, and when the tough times come, and they will, ask any entrepreneur, you're not going to survive them, and what you're going to do is you're going to give up. And you're probably going to give up right before the first finishing post. So first of all is get passionate about what you do. Then I think you got to know the rules of the game. So whatever it is, the strategy you're choosing, the way you're making money, you've got to learn the rules of the game. And not just the superficial one. You can't just read a couple of books. You just can't go along to a couple of seminars. You've got to immerse yourself in that stuff. And when you do that, you'll learn those distinctions that success leave clues. I call them distinctions. Of what is successful, and what isn't. And the reality is you've then got to do it. So it's about taking massive action, And I think, for me, persistence is a big one. Discipline, they're absolutely crucial to it, because I can tell you, unless you're prepared to do it over and over and over and over again, you're not going to. So for me, the final thing is that if you're going to have a business, most people approach and all they do is they replace a job. Whereas for me, the key to being successful and being hugely successful is creating leverage, and you do that through systems. So whatever you do, you've got to make it replicatable. You've got to make it so that actually you can have other people doing all the components for you, and you can just oversee them. So a systematic approach to it. And when you do that, and you don't have to start off that way, you can start off by doing each component, but you've got to create it so you can. And that's one of the reasons why I live in Singapore, yet most of my businesses are in Australia or the UK. And I get to spend time with my kids and all that. I've got 4 kids under 6. So for me, and that's a decision, but I've been able to do that through creating a systematic approach to my businesses. And that doesn't mean that I don't have issues and problems and staffing issues and HR and all these sort of problems, and government changing the laws on tax, and all that stuff still happens, but then you've got the right people in there that can make those decisions. And then it's just a leadership role that you take on. And that really for me is the key to creating a replicatable business that will create wealth. And there's other things. I guess one of the big things for me was to create different revenue streams. Not straight away. Straight away I started with one business. I then created another business, and I worked on a principle called share of wallet. So I basically said, right, I've got a relationship with this client. They've got X amount of money. They're going to be paying this person, that person. I want to own all those businesses and get that full share of the wallet, if you like. And so that's been my philosophy around that, is about building really close relationships with clients, and then actually providing more and more services around the core service, which was obviously property. So yeah, that's sort of, I guess, you know, a sort of brief overview of what I've done and how my, you know, philosophy around it.
Well, again, Brett's being incredibly humble. I've had the privilege of spending the last week with him, and there's so much more to this man than actually meets the eye. First and foremost, his mindset is unbelievable. He's got such a positive mindset. He's inspirational. He's a leader amongst leaders. Wherever he is, he actually stands out from the crowd, not because of his size and stature, but because of the man that he actually is. Also, the way he inspires people around him is just really motivational. The other thing that he does, he walks the walk, he talks the talk. If you don't do it, you don't know it, and he really does it, and he really does know it. I hope to bring you some more from Brett Alegre-Wood very shortly. I can spend hours talking to this man, and he will actually give you words of wisdom and pearls that you can actually implement into your business. So if you like this video, please like and share. We look forward to speaking to you soon.
Cheers. Thanks, mate.